Chào mừng tất cả các bạn đã quay trở lại với Việt Nam Championship Series mùa hè 2019 và chúng ta sẽ đến với trận đấu thứ hai của ngày thi đấu hôm nay, GAM đối đầu với FTV. Cả hai đội đang có phong độ.
Welcome back, everyone, after a very short break. And this time, sadly, I'm not joined by Everyday because he had to bounce for work. So I'll be bringing you this second series alone. Please excuse my play-by-play abilities, because obviously, as the color caster, I'm not too used to playing the plays, calling the plays, I should say. So I'll try my best here to follow this probably very explosive series as GAM is facing off against FTV. Both teams like to fight a lot, especially on the FTV side. We have a lot of games that go a little bit in the weirder side, but that being said, GAM also has already trolled a few games. We see Slay this time in the ADC position, so GAM is trying to field a new roster every game. Yoshino, I'm very happy he's still sitting there in the top lane. Slay this time went from support to ADC after a very good support performance yesterday on the Lux. Now he's playing ADC, supported by Hugh. So we might expect something like a Nico support pick. Maybe we actually get to see some really weird shenanigans there. Not sure what the Slay as ADC, the back as ADC, I should say, because obviously he was an ADC player before, brings to the table for GAM. And what's happening with Minas? Is he just not going to play without his younger brother, or do they not believe in Minas? I'm not sure what their plan for GAM is looking forwards. But they are still the heavy favorites against FTV. FTV is sitting at 0-3 still, as we're hitting the pick and bans. So GAM should be the heavy favorites. And we have to see if the good meta read we saw yesterday out of GAM continues today. Red side had a little bit of a struggle drafting good comps last series. They still won all the games, so maybe drafting bad comps and then winning red side is the meta today. We'll have to see what GAM and FTV bring to the table. There's another Heimerdinger ban happening. FTV has watched yesterday's series. We had Hugh in the bot lane, one game playing AP Nico, one game playing AP Heimerdinger. Heimerdinger is always AP, sorry. So this time they ban out his two bot lane champs so far. They probably expected Slay to actually play support again. Interesting read out of FTV. And we have to see if Slay wants to play support champs. He had two very good Lux games. Or if he actually goes for ADC. Karma is open though. FTV gets the opportunity to play Karma again. They have already played Karma and they've lost on Karma. So let's see if they can pilot this strongest champion on the patch better than before. In the meantime, GAM hovering Slay's good support champ in the Lux. I would like to see something like a Lux and jungle pickup here. Maybe Lux, Elise, Lux and Rek'Sai could be very good. Could go for Irelia here as well. Aatrox open, so a lot of power still available. Aatrox, Karma and Irelia go through the draft. Not too used to seeing all these gems on the Rift. So now Aurelia picked up, kind of blocking the Aatrox top. Aurelia will win this matchup later on in the game pretty hard, and she's good at teamfighting as well. So picking Aatrox into Aurelia is usually not seen as something you want to do, especially for top lane matchups. Ticking down, they could go for jungle, yeah, it seems to be the Gragas. Karma usually sees more play as a solo laner. So this is already 2 AP and the top side secured. I would like to see them go for, Rika on Poppy again. He had a good Poppy game before, and I like to see Rika on tank champs. Of course, in my opinion, Rika is not the greatest player if he plays the AP top lane champions. He likes to go for a lot of plays and botches more than he lands. So now again on the safe, very good laner. Usually Poppy lanes insanely well into Aurelia. It's a matchup that can swing back and forth. It's not quite as Poppy favored as most people believe it is. I think Poppy has the advantage in the early game. She can actually get ahead in the later stages as well. Usually the break point is something like 3-4 items, where Poppy can itemize for heal reduction, like Thorn Mail, and still be tanky enough to survive the initial burst. Then she can actually trade back. So we have to see how this matchup goes. Once again, FTV so far looking at a very strong draft. I don't really like the Gragas here. I think a little bit more AD on the top side would not be bad for them, especially combined with the Karma there. Gragas seems to be the flavor of the month in the VCS. A lot of Gragas priority, more than any other league, I think. Very quick ban phase for phase 2, and we see the Gragas Yasuo getting denied. I don't actually think Gragas Yasuo was that big an option. Would have been the Karma support in that case. Yeah, it gets denied anyway. Always good to ban it out. And we now see that GAM needs to pick up ADC, or if Slay wants to play Lux again. No, it seems to be a real Slay ADC game. So now Lux Kaiser secured for GAM. Sivir was not banned away, so now Sivir, very obvious choice for FTV. I don't like this Tristana hover, don't go Tristana. Tristana is not that great of a champ in this patch. So it's actually the Karma bot lane. Do you want to play Draven into Lux Kaiser is the question. Karma Draven, it's perma pushing, perma pressuring the enemy bot lane, so it's... No. Sivir. Okay. Good, they remember what patch we were on and go for the Sivir, not the Tristana. So this pushing bot lane anyway, it's not quite as oppressive as Draven is and not as much kill pressure. Still should have the pushing advantage against Kaiser Lux, especially Kaiser early on can't hold up to Sivir's pushing power. Okay, that's a surprising pick. So they want to avoid the matchup for the Aurelia into Poppy, I suppose. They want to slaughter a mid lane, so now picking up another AP threat in the top lane. Cannon into Poppy should dominate the matchup quite heavily. Poppy can't really do anything against the Cannon. Nothing that she can block with her W there. So I like the adaptation. I'm not a big fan of Cannon on this patch overall. I think he's a little bit of a trap pick. Nico is pretty much the better Cannon right now. Nico was banned, obviously, so no opportunity to pick up the better Cannon. This Cannon... Yoshino has been a good laner, especially better laner than Rika for sure, so go for Klepto, try to accelerate the game, go for mid-game teamfighting spikes, and should be a very good option for GAM, with paired up with Elise, and in the mid lane they have another very good mid laner to play around in Aurelia, so it's another top lane champ for Kiaya in the mid lane. I am still wondering when he will try to pick up his first real mid lane champion. So far he has only played Bruisers in the mid lane. He's supposed to be the starting mid laner for GAM, so it's a little bit worrying, in my opinion, to see him play only Bruisers in the mid lane. Would like to see him on a traditional mage and see if he can perform on more than just the top lane champs that are kind of flexible to mid lane. He even played a game of Renekton in the mid lane there. So right now GAM is more fielding two top laners than a real mid laner, but it works out in the meta. There are a lot of top lane champs that can be played in the mid lane as well. And usually mid laners struggle more if they go to the top lane than top laners struggle when they have to play mid lane. As we saw with Caps there against with the level 2 power spike. Mid laners are not used to long lanes, and top laners can adapt better to the mid lane playstyle most of the time, especially on their champs. So should be no problem for Kiaya once again. Wait, oh, that's interesting. Wow, Slay actually does not go with the Kaiser. I did not spot that in Champion Select. Hugh will play the Kaiser, so the traditional ADC, who has played many professional ADC games, Slay, will not play the ADC. He goes for his role, the role he is supposed to play in GAM, which obviously is the support role, and he had 2 very good games on the support Lux. So once again going for support Lux with the right start as well. No Relic Shield Lux, happy to see that. And now the big question mark is, can Hugh actually play ADC on professional level? Level 1 has not been kind to him. A lot of poke coming out of B, good and wait for police and B to get the first advantage in the lane. And Hugh down to half HP. Luckily for them, Hugh has a TP available to him, so he can reset after a few waves, go for his first item, and avoid a little bit of the bad matchup. But look at this, they are down to half HP. Okay, Slay gets a little bit of health back using his natural regeneration, I should say. But yeah, Aftershock Lux paired up with Kai'Sa, not the strongest lane ever. It's not bad either, but on the other side we have more pushing power, a little bit more synergy as well. A very intriguing choice by Police in terms of runes. I hold that thought. It's a big fight in the jungle. Levi with the first big advantage. Smites for health. Now TP comes in. Victory is here as well. A very good flash E from Kuroko, and the first kill goes down. Rika takes the kill. I would have liked to give it over to Victory, but he was not close enough. So Levi gets invaded. First really big disadvantage for Levi, I think, so far in the VCS since he's come back. Very good invade. Kuroko timed this with the pressure that his bot lane exerted. So nicely done. Levi does not get his blue buff and now has to go back to the top side. Blue buff from the enemy team is spotted for them, so kind of protected by wards, and Rika goes back to the top lane as well. So now he goes straight to the enemy blue buff, and Rika is there to wait for him. This can go horribly wrong for Levi if he's found out once again. Look at this. He's spotted on the ward. Kuroko has full information. Kuroko tries to hide behind the buff. Actually does not go too well. And Kuroko smite for health. I'm sorry, I thought Levi smite there. Yeah. In the meantime, Kuroko just goes down. Levi and Kiaya team up to dive the mid lane turret. Sadly, we didn't catch the play, so I hope we get another replay, and this time the replay will not delay the next play on the map, which is kind of what's happening a lot in the VCS when a lot of plays are going down all the time. So Levi gets back into the game, assist and kill secured for Kiaya. He gets his blue buff, so now big advantage in the jungle. Actually going over to GAM, a little bit of a gold lead as well, and their jungler, their mid laner now sitting very well in the mid lane. This is a matchup for Irelia that's so much better in mid lane than top lane. It's actually not too great to play Irelia into Slay. Why? What was that about? Slay is just wandering around in the map. Has to take a really far back path to the lane. So a little bit of solo experience for Hugh. Not sure if that was intended by Slay. Not too sure what he was doing there either. I guess he got one stack from his E on Gragas, but why? What for? Yeah, very weird choice by Slay. In the end, he still gets back to lane and everything is okay. Tanks the minions for quite a bit. You can do that very efficiently with the Lux shield. One of the perks of Lux that almost no other enchanter support can really afford to do. Even tank supports in the early game struggle with holding waves and tanking waves, but Lux with her shield, the shield has 2 instances, obviously, as you all know, and the 2 instances are very good at tanking the minion damage. Little bit of an advantage for GAM secured, 800 gold, a little bit from that stems from the top lane, obviously, as Yoshino is sitting on the predicted rune choice there and Kleptomancy. Sorry, I blanked out there on the name. And on the other side, we have Kiaya in the mid lane sitting on the first blood. B tanks the minions as well and tries to delay the entrance. Very nicely done. Actually, it's very successful delaying the minions in the mid lane. Victory gets the full wave. good to see the support players' awareness of minion waves and how to manipulate them as well. Yoshino with a deep dive, he's covered by Levi, so top lane in a little bit of trouble. Did he actually get the gold for the plate though? That's very... I'm not sure he got an immediate ult on Rika. Rika gets stunned up as well, and Levi is here. But now Rika is still sitting at half HP. And Levi and Yoshino have to be very careful. Kuroko's there. Yoshino still alive. No, he gets sniped. Victory. Levi secures one kill. Kiaya another one. 2 for 2 so far. Victory against Kiaya. Kiaya stacked his keystone there, and now he forces out the flash. He really is better than the melee 1v1 against Jace. In the end, a 2 for 2. Both sides are kind of... Ooh, Slay. Don't do that, please. Flash Q from Slay missing. That was very dangerous, actually, from Slay. He has Aftershock, and with Q not landing, he's prone to being instantly burst by the enemy team. Sadly, for FTV spot lane, they did not really commit. Now Kiaya sets up the trap on Victory. A lot of minion damage on Kiaya. This could actually backfire for him. But he has more mana than Victory. Does not land the E. Has stacked his Conqueror. Will he follow up? Nope. They could have probably traded 1 for 1, but decided against it because he has the bounty there. So good awareness from Kiaya. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. He was actually aware of his bounty. As we get to see this again. The start from Yoshino looked very awkward because he just pressed R and stood there with a little bit of R damage. And Rika is more tanky than they expected. So initial advantage goes over to GAM, but they get a lot of damage on Kuroko, and Levi and Kiaya spread their focus through both enemies and get 2 kills back. Kiaya in the end actually getting the flash from Victory as well, so good trade for GAM, all things considered. Still had 700 gold. It did not really hurt them in terms of laning. The positioning was very bad for FTV because they lost a lot of waves, especially Rika now, down almost 30 CS already at 8 minutes. FTV and Kuroko, FTV's players are spotted, so opportunity for GAM to disengage. Hugh and Slay are already far behind the turret. Ooh, Flash E comes in. Hugh has to flash, but now Kuroko's caught, and Levi is there. Levi has to be careful. Kill for Hugh. Levi will go down to Victory. Ooh, bad flash from him. They need to back off. No TP available, sadly, for GAM to capitalize on this big overextension. But they don't get any plates, and the solo plate goes over to Kiaya in a 1 for 1. So still a better play for GAM, and they accelerate to 1.1k advantage at 9 minutes. 8 kills have already gone down. We've seen a game with no kills until 11 minutes, the very first game of the day. This is a much faster game. A lot of kills going down, as is expected in this matchup, GAM against FTV. This will not ever be a slow game, I think. Very sorry about that. In the top lane, we now are sitting on 35 creeps in advantage to Yoshino, plus his Kleptomancy gold. He goes for the strongest laning build. He wants to go for the now almost meta build, I think, with the Gunblade as the first item on cannon to extend his strong laning. And look at this, Rika is struggling a lot to do anything against him. Whenever he approaches the wave, he gets poked down, and Yoshino profits with a lot of extra gold from his keystone. Kiaya against Victory. Victory with a double buff. Wow, Victory gets the better of Kiaya here, and he ignites him. Kiaya has to flash away. Will be okay, especially now with Slay covering for him. Had his shield available there. Now FTV now with the advantage over the top side river. B has grouped up with them as well. They will get the first big objective. That being said, yeah, no, it's not the first big objective. GAM has already secured an Infernal Drake and reset the timer. Look at the Dragon Chain as well. It's Infernal Drake into Mountain Drake, so almost the perfect setup for GAM to succeed in this game. Infernal Mountain is already indicating a very strong Baron play around Baron, I should say. Hugh looking for 2 solo plates, and the gold lead is growing and growing and growing. It's almost 2k now. FTV seems to not get any foot into this game. They at least secured Shelly, but they gave up a lot of platings, and yeah, as we all know, Shelly is only worth 2 platings really, so giving up more than 2 platings and trade for Shelly is never a good option. Oh wow, 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 what happened there? Hugh, once again, observers a little bit late on the play. Still get to see the end, so Hugh secures a clean 2v2 kill. I suppose Slay landed Q followed up by ult, because his ult is on cooldown, so very standard bot lane Lux play. A lot of damage still on the Lux, so yeah, I suppose it was just a very clean Lux play from Slay there, followed up by Hugh, who got the kill. Nicely done, 2v2 kill for this unusual bot lane on GAM's side. They have played before in the last series, so like this again. Ooh, nicely done by Slay there, using the terrain. Look at the damage. B just got bursted down, nothing to do there for police, and B, Slay almost solo killing him. In the meantime, Hiaya overextends. The action is not stopping, and we can't even look at replays because there's someone going down all the time. Now they get the first plating, second plating is worked on, and now the Rift Herald comes in as well. So potential for 4 platings in the mid lane. Yeah, they only need a few more hits. Might even be first tower completely. Wow, Victory gets caught by Slay though, so now they can't complete the push. Slay with another very good rep rotation. I think Slay has looked so good in week 2 on the supports. He has only played Lux, so not especially Lux, but Lux has been his go-to in week 2, and he has looked really good. So how did this happen? Kiaya set up the ult, landed the ult on Victory. Sadly for him, Kuroko is there in full vision and gets just contributes with the ult. Victory turns around the play. He had to flash away, but then landed his shock blast, which actually got Kiaya low enough for them to recommit to the play. This is always what happens around Aurelia. You have to be very careful. She can turn around plays. This time they actually turned around from a turnaround from her, so good execution for FTV. They get 1 kill back, and the gold lead is now sitting at 1.4k, so a little bit less than it was a few minutes ago when it hit 2k for GAM. They got a lot of gold back in the mid lane with a lot of platings going down, and a little bit. The opportunity is still there to look for first turret gold. Only 10 seconds for the last plating left though, so that will not go in favor of FTV. Flash Q once again coming in from Slay, and yeah, he landed the Q this time, so improvement from last time, but I have to question why he goes for the flash Qs all the time. That was not necessary there, no real follow-up. At least they bought a lot of time, so now first turret will go over to GAM's top side. First turret secured, 2k gold lead, will probably get a little bit evened out with the first turret falling on FTV side soon in the mid lane, you would guess. It's actually a big group coming up from GAM. They want to prevent this mid turret from falling, or at least get 1 or 2 kills back, if they have to give it up. Nope, it's just a good disengage by FTV. They don't want to overcommit. They lost the first turret gold anyway, so no reason for them to overly commit to the turret push. If they can... Oh no, this is very dangerous. TP coming in. Kuroko is still on the dragon, and they are very split. FTV on full vision, and Yoshin was there. Ooh, Yoshin could flash ult in here. Yeah, ult comes in, no flash though. A dragon goes in favor of FTV, but this is horrible. The B is caught out as well. Kuroko goes down. Oh no. Rika sits there and yeah, just looks at the rest of the map. Everything is burning. Why did you even commit to the fight if Rika was not there? Your tank is supposed to teamfight for you. You're not picking the tank in the top lane to then not teamfight around him. That's not what he does. He doesn't even get any damage on the turret in the meantime because he's Poppy from behind. So very bad decision making by FTV. The Mountain Drake was important, but not as important as 4 kills. So I mean, the call to contest the Mountain Drake in itself seems to be the right choice, just because of the positioning overall. Dragon stacking early on, especially if it's high value dragons, can be very dangerous for the enemy team. But yeah, look at the positioning here on the map. All 5 players are there. Good TP. They actually did not spot the TP until very late. Yoshino was in nowhere near vision, so now they know Yoshino is there, and it's already too late for them to get out of there. Did not really like how Yoshino played this. I think he could have flashed in for more CC, but in the end they still get 4 kills, so does not really matter. 4 kills secured, 4-0 in the trade. They lose the dragon, but it doesn't really matter. Next one will be Infernal, so nice high value dragon for GAM. And GAM looking like the clear better team, especially in terms of coordination. 5k gold lead. And Hugh on the ADC pick, 3-0-2. Seems to be able to play a professional ADC in the VCS. That's a good sign. Still don't really understand why we would not slot Minas in here. Maybe there's something wrong with him. Was not playing in the first 2 years as well. Maybe the communication is just better with Hugh in there. Not too sure. But he at least shows that he's capable of playing ADC as well. 3-on-2, strong position, as I alluded to earlier. And the Yoshino in an insanely strong position. It's still 40 CS up on his lane opponent. Sits on 3 completed items if you want to count the boots. And the boots are 1,100 gold, so it's not like they come for free. It's actually very strong mid-game build. A lot of penetration against a team, especially on the... Oh, they actually have a lot of MR already built. Especially on the Karma. That's unusual to see that much MR on the support Karma there. She doesn't really have anything else though, so forcing the enemy support into itemizing against you, always a good sign. Good flash from Hugh there. Kuriko tried to go for the play. At least they get the flash. It's a repeat play set up there from Kuriko and the Gragas. First one will get the flash if the enemy is not asleep. Did not expect to get much more there. I think in the end, flash was up. Levi smites because he does not want to risk the weird steal out of the Gragas. Levi didn't really have the best game so far. A little bit of a quieter game for Levi. So far he has looked super good in the early games, even in the games they lost last week. This game much more on Slay as well as Kiaya, and Yoshino with a good game as well. So yeah, good to see GAM can play through different players. It's not even their full lineup yet, but they still have ramped up quite a bit, and they don't really look like a bottom tier team anymore. They look a little bit like mid tier, maybe playoff contenders. Very good sign for GAM fans coming into the season. At least they're able to stomp the bottom tier teams, and there are only 8 teams in VCS, so if you're able to stomp 7 and 8, you're already sitting at 6, and 6 is not too far away from 4th. 4th is playoffs and world's contention, which is, yeah, right where GAM wants to be. I don't really think GAM wants to challenge for being the best team right now. They obviously want to, but it's not that important for them. Once Zeros is back in and they can look and work with their full lineup, then is the time they want to challenge for worlds. And challenge for the first place as well. So far, the start has been better than I actually anticipated. Last week looked a little bit rough, especially around mid-game. But GAM coming in pretty strong in this game once again. Infernal Drake in 10 seconds, so this will be the next fighting point. FTV, can FTV actually fight this? They have 2 items on Jace. Jace is in a strong position. Sadly, their ADC is still not really there, especially compared to the enemy ADC in terms of items. Rika is tanky, especially against AP damage. Yoshino is here. Yoshino has a flash available, so this time Yoshino is scouted out. At least FTV knows that Yoshino is there. FTV should not commit to this fight. They can't really win this. Especially victory without any mana. They catch out Kiaya, so now Kiaya has to run around. Ooh, and GAM with a bad dragon timing, because Kiaya is not here. FTV is cornered from both. Oh, this time Flash ult from Yoshino comes in. This is a very good commit from GAM. Already securing 2 kills. Rika goes low. Rika can't really contribute in the fight. And Kiaya and Hugh on top of everyone. Nicely done. Triple kill from Hugh. Very good cornering from GAM. I don't really understand what FTV was planning for there. There was no real way FTV was getting out on top in that situation. And GAM call off the dragon and immediately go for the bigger objective. It's the Baron. This time Baron actually does not have to face his biggest enemy on the whole rift, which is the Mountain Drake. Mountain Drake secured by FTV, so GAM has to kill them with their own abilities and auto attacks, which they still succeed in doing, obviously. And now Rika caught out another free kill freebie for Hugh. Nope, he doesn't actually get the kill. Slay tries to go for the ult snipe there, but he would have not had enough damage to kill the enemy tank. Nowhere near enough damage, I think. Look at Yoshino again. He's scouted out. They know that he's there. Kiaya is spotted as well, so this is in full vision. That's unforgivable. Yeah, Kuroko tries to deny the entrance from Yoshino, but he's too late. Yoshino has already hit his R key, so that's really all Cannon has to do. R and flash, and then, yeah, he can do whatever he wants. He stopwatches, actually gets out alive in this fight. Oof. They overestimated their ability to thwart the Cannon engage there. They tried to lure them in and then immediately turn on Cannon, but it did not work, and now the game does not look salvageable anymore. It's 8k gold lead for GAM at 22 minutes, looking like a very dominant team in this game. 2 Infernal Drakes on top of that, so the Lux, for example, now sitting on 1 completed item, as well as the Baron buff and 2 Infernals will hit 120 AP, I would guess. So she's stronger than you normally would anticipate from the support position there. Cannon, obviously, sadly we don't get to see how much AP Cannon has, but I think it should be enough to threaten a one-shot there on Police or B. Then strong builds and strong high AP builds out of Levi as well, getting amplified by double Infernal. So this is not looking too good for FTV's third Infernal. Will be there in 3 minutes if the game is still running at that point. Looks like it will, because no inhibitor baseline broken. And actually VCS teams are pretty conservative around pushing with Baron. They are very slow sometimes to set up the Baron push. Don't really play it like European teams who like to very hard commit to Baron pushes. Actually even pushes without Baron. That's, I think, one of the distinct strengths of European teams. But yeah, this is still textbook play. It's very good. It's a second Baron setup. We talk about second Baron a lot in this cast here. Second Baron is usually where the win is at. They actually still have 40 seconds left on the Baron buff, so they might break the inhibitor line. So a light early on. No real resistance coming from FTV. Where do they want to fight? I mean, they are not allowed to press FF. It looks like they are FFing right now in terms of play. But they didn't do anything here. They tried to go for the engage on the top lane. Kiaya gets caught out. Yoshino with the re-engage on the ult. And look at the damage from Yoshino. Police and B completely fall out of the fight. Rika goes down. Triple kill secured for GAM. 3 kills. Not a triple kill. It's not all the kills on one member. But it doesn't matter. GAM has the Baron buff still available to them, will not be there for the push, which is actually beneficial for them, because the big minion not tanking is not too great for GAM. Q wants to experiment a little bit with ADC play, I guess, so he goes down to the enemy ADC. Will not matter in the end, but they can't now finish on this wave, so Hugh actually costing them the immediate finish. Will only delay the game by 2 more minutes. Both turrets in front of the Nexus have gone down, so inhibitor down, Nexus turrets down. Third Infernal coming up in 1 minute and 30 seconds, so GAM, this is just a victory lap for GAM in this first game. they can already look ahead to the second game, and they want to repeat their performance here for a very clean and fast 2-0 over FTV. FTV needs to adjust a lot in terms of gameplay, and they've looked like one of our weakest teams. I think it's still a little bit better than Cerberus. At least they're able to win some games. As we look at this replay again, Police is forced out of the fight, can't do anything. Look at the damage on B here. Levi almost one-shotting him. In the meantime, Rika goes down. He's the tank, but not tanky enough to withstand all the 5 members of GAM. Another pick on Kiaya, and this will be... Oh, wow, what a stopwatch. Almost 0 HP there, and the stun on Kuroko comes in. They turn on the fight. Hugh can one-shot the enemy ADC. So now Slay with the big shield on Hugh. Rika is still alive, but now it finally goes down to the Elise, and B in a lot of trouble, runs away with the shield active as Yoshin is on the chase. Oh, in the meantime, Victory actually gets the kill on Slay. Nice snipe, and he's now behind enemy lines. That being said, all the enemies are on top of his Nexus, so now Victory is a passenger there, can only watch his Nexus go down. Oh, he's actually inting away his life once more. Well, why ever he did that, I guess he wanted to not be the single survivor there, the sole survivor. In the end, very clean game from GAM, very fast-paced. A clean game is a little bit of an exaggeration. I think I should backtrack from that statement a little bit. Not clean in terms of kills secured, but their execution in the mid-game looked so much better than last week. I think Kiaya and Slay have been great as a bot lane, especially if they are actually contributing to the team's mid-game macro. They seem to be a very great addition. And Kiaya is not Kiaya, I'm sorry, I mean Hugh and Slay, obviously. And Slay on his Lux needs to get banned out, because this Lux is looking very dangerous. Slay hitting snipe after snipe, hitting flash Qs sometimes. Sometimes he's missing them as well. Doesn't really matter in the end. Easy game victory for GAM. Yeah, I think easy is the right assessment, because it was not really clean, but it was pretty easy for them. No real obstacles found. Some kills given up in the early game, but there was never a situation in the game where we would have said, okay, FTV is favored to win. It was always playing from ahead, front running to victory from GAM, and they go ahead by 1 game. Next one will be in 7 minutes. The only thing I have to think about now that's left is MVP discussion. It's actually not too easy in this game. Kiaya got caught out there in the end. That's the last impression I had of him. What did Yoshino do in this game? He played a pretty good Ken. I liked Slay's play, I liked Hugh's play. Did Hugh do anything useful that another ADC could not have done in his position? I think I'll give it to Yoshino. It was more of the enemy team running collectively into him, but he still pressed his buttons, and yeah, his cannon stunned everyone all the time, so in the end, Yoshino is my pick for MVP in this game. It was a very close call. All the players played a good game. I think you could give it to Hugh as well. It's his first professional ADC game, if I'm correct there. I'm not too sure. I think he has not played ADC before. But really, that Kaiser game was probably playable for almost every Diamond ADC, especially after laning phase, because he was just getting all the last hits, contributing with AAs. Not a whole lot of threat in the enemy team on him. So yeah, it looked good stats from him. Yeah, but in the end, not the hardest game to play as an ADC. I think Yoshino had more game impact and was the bigger reason they won the game. And I'll be back in 5 minutes and 30 seconds for the second game to see if GAM can close out the series and go 4-0 in week 2 to go 2-2 in series.
Nhưng đừng vội chê nó, bởi nếu đợt sóng năng lượng này trúng vào tường, bụi hay sông, nguyên tố đó sẽ phát nổ sau một khoảng trễ ngắn, làm choáng và gây sát thương lên kẻ địch xung quanh. Nếu kỹ năng này chạm tường, nó sẽ phát nổ nguyên chu vi của bức tường đó. Độ cơ động cao cùng khả năng dùng sát thương mạnh mẽ cho phép Kiana thiết lập những pha bắt lẻ, tạo lợi thế cho đồng đội hoặc ám sát những mục tiêu chủ lực tuyến sau một cách nhanh gọn. Hãy thích ứng và biến đổi nguyên tố để khiến kẻ địch phải choáng ngợp nhé. Đây là khoảnh khắc của bạn. Hãy làm chủ các nguyên tố, đem về những thứ thuộc về mình và giành chiến thắng. Kiana là một thích khách vật lý có khả năng dùng sát thương cực mạnh nhờ vào việc tận dụng địa hình xung quanh. tập trung sức mạnh vào vũ khí.
Chào mừng tất cả các bạn đã quay trở lại với ván thi đấu thứ hai thuộc khuôn khổ vòng bảng VCS hè 2010 thi đấu thứ hai của ngày thi đấu.
Welcome back to Game 2, and we just saw GAM absolutely dominate FTV in Game 1. Will we see the same for Game 2? I don't really see anything that's thwarting that plan from happening. Hugh obviously getting the MVP because he went 9, 1, and 6. He did absolutely nothing in the game, just lasted it as an ADC, but I guess that's good enough to get the MVP. No, to be fair, he played a good ADC game. I don't think he was anything special in the game, and I don't think he had the greatest game impact, but for some reason VCS seems to overly value stats, and his stats were great. His first real ADC game this split, he had 2 mage games before, so kind of proving the point that he can actually play ADC as well. Yulwei always very happy on stage. I think it's so great to see him always in a good mood with his new old team on the GAM, I should say. It's not... is it actually still the Gigabyte Marines? They are always listed as GAM Esports, so I'll just call them GAM. But they're still Marines on their shirts, so I'm not sure about the actual terminology there. Right now I want to refer to them as GAM, because yeah, that's what they are called everywhere. So looking at Game 2, GAM now on the blue side. They want to ban out a few ADCs. It seems like this time Zaya on the ban list as first ban, followed by Nico. Nico very dangerous on the side of GAM, especially because Hugh can play it in every position, and I don't think Yaya or Yoshino would be unable to play her either, so ban away the Nico against GAM. That's probably a good call. Heimerdinger once again hitting the bench as well, even after Hugh, I'm sorry, had a good game 1 on a traditional ADC. So yeah, not too sure about the ban phase. We might see another round of very strong power picks being left open. Lucian and Morgana banned away from GAM. Interesting choices. Don't really know where that is leading. Karma is open. Aatrox is open, Irelia is open, so a lot of power picks still available. I expect the Karma first pick. Oh, Lux first pick might come in here. If they first pick the Lux here, they give up Karma, Irelia, which is very dangerous, even against FTV. Rika actually won a game on Karma top, so... oh, what is going on here? Okay, picking away the third champ Hugh has shown in the bot lane, so now Hugh has to show us another champ. Let's see what he has in store for us in this draft. Will he play support this time? They could actually just let him have the Lux and put Slay on a traditional ADC, so I don't really like this approach from FTV, and I really don't like this pickup. Karma and Aurelia are still open. What's going on with red side drafts today? It's wow. Yeah, and why would you take Karma, right? Karma is an absolutely useless champ. I'm very sorry. Karma is... who needs Karma anyway? So just Jace and Aurelia picked up 2 strong AD solo laners. It's a AP support. It's already a little bit of a mixed draft there. And Karma goes unpicked and banned in the first rotation. I cannot believe my eyes. Aatrox over Karma picked, even though Aatrox is now in 2 bad matchups in either solo lane. So Aatrox isn't even that great of a pick here, even though he's still at a high power level. Yeah, it's VCS, guys. Whatever is going on with red side VCS drafts, it needs to stop. It really needs to stop. This is pure madness coming out of the red side. And obviously, red side has won every game so far. So if you continue that trend, FTV will absolutely stomp game 2 with this horrible draft. Banning out 2 more ADCs. I like the Caitlyn ban. Caitlyn usually a very easy champ to play, and yeah, banning away the Caitlyn from Hugh might be a very good choice. Another Thresh ban. Karma is still not picked or banned. Karma is not banned in phase 2, so yeah, do they actually want to tilt me into oblivion with not picking up Karma at all in this draft? That would be next level. Just let Karma through the whole draft. Why would you play Karma anyway? To be serious though, Karma would be a good pick actually for FTV in this rotation. Just for the slot here into either mid or bot lane. But yeah, it's Pyke, and this is probably a top Pyke into Jace, I would suppose, because this is a good spot to pick top lane Pyke. If Rika is capable of playing it, I'd like to see top lane Pyke. A little bit of spice coming out of them. Oh, and this is another very good bot lane champion. A friend of mine actually loves to play bot lane Vel'Koz, not support Vel'Koz, bot lane Vel'Koz. He takes the farm, and they are great combinations. Actually, Vel'Koz Lux is something we played in before, and Vel'Koz Lux is legit. Vel'Koz Lux likes to kill people and push all the time. So this is a strong bot lane, very AP heavy, and I like this a lot with the draft they have picked in top and mid lane. Still not the biggest fan of Gragas. This time I like it a little bit more because the damage profile is very nice on the top side. I will not comment on this and Anivia hover because it's not happening. It's Camille. So full AD top side for FTV, not great. Full AD actually, the whole composition is not a single AP threat there. Everything is AD. Pyke deals AD damage and support Pyke. So double AD bot lane against double AP bot lane. Usually double AP wins, especially in this case double poke. Very hard to play against. Police and B are in for a lot of trouble in the bot lane. Not the biggest fan of the Camille last pick, obviously. Another AD threat. I would have liked to see the Karma picked up here for either solo lane. So this is a draft from a whole new level on the FTV side especially, but both teams refused to pick up Karma. Maybe they talked to each other early on and said, okay, this is a serious pro game, but both of us don't want to play Karma, so let's not bother picking up the Karma. She's the strongest champ in the game right now, but why would we pick her anyway? I really don't understand this pick and ban, especially because Rika has actually played a Karma game already and won. They only won 2 games, and one of those was top lane Karma, the very first game of the whole split against EVOS. Just put Rika on top lane Karma again. Top lane Karma would give you a better damage profile, would give you a safe early game laning phase. Good setup with the Lee Sin as well. Tether into Lee Sin follow up is good at punishing Aurelia. Instead, now you're sitting at Camille into Aurelia, which is a very swingy matchup. Can go either way. In the late game, more Aurelia favored in my opinion. We have seen Aurelius actually dominate the lane. It hinges a lot on the Camille player and which keystone he wants to go for. This is a win for Aurelia because this Camille has lost her mind and goes Conqueror into Aurelia, which is not a great choice. Aurelia is always the better Conqueror player. Whatever champ you play, Aurelia is the better Conqueror user. So yeah, this is not a good choice. Rika should have gone for Grasp. Grasp is actually super good laning tool for especially Camille. She gets to proc the Grasp a lot and gets to win a lot of matchups that usually Camille does not do too well in because all the other players want to go for the Conqueror, all the other champs as well. So yeah, not too happy with Rika's choice. We have to see how it pans out in this game. Bot lane once again Slay on the Lux. I'm not sure why VCS thought Slay would be ADC here and is always slotting him in the 4th position. They will probably change shortly. They did the same in the last game. Should not take too long, and I expect the Vel'Koz to fully farm this lane and Lux to play full support. So even though the champs look like they could be more of the 50-50 role, more of the Sonataric setup. Maybe I think this is just full Vel'Koz carry. Vel'Koz scales very good with gold as well. Vel'Koz is actually a very weird champ because he's good with gold, he's good without gold, he's super good with AP, he's good with just penetration as well. He has a lot of strength and very clear weaknesses as well. One of my favorite champs in terms of balance, because I think it's a very clear balance. You have outplay opportunity against Vel'Koz, you can dodge his skill shots. He has a lot of damage. If he lands anything, I think very few champs have the same damage potential as Vel'Koz does. He can shred whole teams with his true damage ultimate. So yeah, I love to see Vel'Koz played. Especially in pro play, there are some super good Vel'Koz players. As the first trade goes in favor of Rika. Wow, Rika punishes Yoshino a lot in this trade. And there's the Kuroko sitting in wait. Yeah, especially for everyone who's a fan of Vel'Koz, I really love to see Froggen play Vel'Koz. Rather engage on Yoshino. He has to flash. Good choice. Had to flash there. No way he gets out of there if he doesn't flash. And this flash was even a pretty non-committal one, because there was no way Eureka could have followed up with the flash. So it was really flash or die, and he flashed. Good choice for him. Levi's CS at 14, only at +4. That's surprising to me, because he had the one Karthus game where he absolutely dominated the matchup. I want to see him on Karthus again. It was very sad that he lost the game and then never goes back to Karthus again. Maybe if they get another chance against the Sejuani in 2 weeks from now. Because this is the last series before the break for Rift Trials. So GAM is not playing a series for 2 weeks now. And we see the strong bot lane combination that is... Ooh, Lux does not have her Aftershock available, but B gets caught out in a lot of true damage from Hugh there. Yeah. Okay, B gets out. Goes back to 300 health using his passive regeneration, but all these combat summoners are expanded for FTV on the bot lane. No flash for B either, so now he has to be really careful. Pyke hates to lane. Pyke really wants to not lane as long as possible. He wants to go for plays all the time, but now he has to lane. Oh, Kuroko sees Levi. Levi does not see Kuroko. Levi now in a bit of trouble. B is here. He doesn't have flash, as we alluded to earlier. Levi! Whoa, what was that? E. He flashed over the wall. E back. Wow. And now GAM. GAM is actually not winning this fight. Kiaya is here. Slay is already down. Kiaya goes down. Slay is down. 3 kills for FTV. Disaster strikes for GAM. And even Yoshino might be caught out. Yoshino, what are you doing? You need to get out of there. Gets turret aggro even, so... GAM is inting away the early game right now. What was that? 4 kills for FTV, up to a great start. 1.5k gold ahead at 5 minutes. And Hugh's there to give up 1 more kill, if he chooses to do so. He shows way too early. Kuroko does not go on top of him because I think his Q was used on the minion, so good timing for the show on Vel'Koz. Look at Levi again. Levi flashes over the wall right there. Flash. What? I'm at a loss of words there. I'm really not sure what he was going for. Slay gets his Aftershock triggered, so he lives longer than expected. But Kiaya has no mana, nothing to do, can't get the kill on the, police, and then Yoshino is there. Just run, Yoshino! Sorry. Yeah, Yoshino for some reason thought it was the better idea to stay under turret and take a turret aggro against 4 enemies. Maybe there was no way he got out of there, but even then, try at least. There was, yeah, that was a real GAM moment. Let's hope they can show us more in the mid game. Good start for FTV. I'm not sure if I would favor them even now, because they have looked horrible this week's play. But yeah, they are up to a great start. They have gotten ahead in top lane, in mid lane and bot lane. All three carries taking all the kills. Now Yoshino. Ooh, Rika misses the E. Rika doesn't have his escape available. Flash, though, is there. He needs to hit the flash. Oh, very good body blocking there from Yoshino. And now Kuroko commits as well. Teleport comes in, so now GAM has to disengage. Oh, Kuroko does more damage than I anticipated he would do. A flash from Kuroko comes in, and now ult from Victory activated. He gets the reset. No, yes, he does get the reset. Kiaya is here. Ooh, Victory flashes on top of him. More. What was that? That was ugly. Please get that out of my face. Ugh. Weird interactions there. Some interactions just look very ugly. But yeah, in the end, it's the 2-for-1 for FTV once again. So 1 kill back for GAM. Fair enough for them, but advantage gained for FTV. Good collapse, especially the TP from Victory coming in the better position than Kiaya. Kiaya probably Kiaya roamed first, so now he can't cancel the TP anymore. Look at the body blocking, by the way. Levi and Yoshino doing a great job so that Rika can't flash over the wall. He still uses his flash. Bad choice by Rika there. A bit of a... Oh no. GAM is actually falling apart here. More than 2k gold lead at 8 minutes. This is a huge advantage for FTV. Even though the bot lane has been doing great for GAM, everything else is absolutely falling apart there. And bot lane has to be very careful. There's a lot of 2v2 potential at level 6. Police and B can absolutely insta-gip Hugh if he ever gets caught. And he doesn't have flash. Slay does not have his flash available either, so just wait for his aftershock to trigger and then go in on him. That's a very easy double kill for the Pyke there in the bot lane. This game should go in FTV's favor from now on. I'm still reluctant to call it an FTV victory because we're still very early on in this game. It's almost 3k gold leads though, so especially looking at things like Kiaya's Jace, he's down 2 kills, has nothing to his name in terms of items. Infernal Drake once again comes out as the first dragon, and FTV uses their pressure all over the map to secure a very clean Infernal Drake. Nothing GAM can get in the meantime. So, another Infernal coming up. Oh, this game is really... The RNG is working in FTV's favor. They want to force the game 3 with all the things that happened here. And GAM needs to stabilize. I'm not sure how GAM will approach the rest of the game. They could either go full risk, just go for plays all the time, and if they don't work, okay, fair enough. We have another game to fix our mistakes. This is already looking like a very hard game to win. Some teams would approach it like this, especially in the best of 3. I don't think it's the worst approach. You will not lose too much from just risking everything. Slay looks pretty dead. Ooh, nice dodge on the Q. Nicely done. So 1 flash gets them both out. Nicely done by Slay there, baiting all the attention on him and then using his flash to get out. Good support play once again. I think Slay has really impressed me on the support lugs. Last week I was not too certain that Slay would be a good support, but yeah, this week he has looked super good on the lugs. Yoshino gets 1 plating for GAM, which is a little bit surprising. Rika should have the advantage there, but coverage from Levi and a big CS advantage actually going over to Yoshino. So, ooh, another dive from Rika. Rika uses the ult to delay, but Yoshino still gets the kill. So now GAM actually has the point of pressure and something to play around for the rest of the game. You always need something to actually do anything. If you watched Series 1, we've talked a lot around about the first draft, the very first game today, where we both thought that the draft was so much better on the blue side for EVOS, but they got absolutely stomped by Flash. And some of that was that Flash had strong... EVOS had strong champs in all the lanes and a very good comp, but they had no pressure point. They lost all the lanes, and they could not play around anything. And this time, FTV's advantage is gigantic. It's 2k at 11 minutes. But at least the top lane is winning for GAM. So now they can focus their attention on the top lane 1v1 matchup. And Yoshino can carry this game for GAM, as Rika has fallen behind very far. Okay, and now the swap comes in. So they want to avoid the top lane 1v1 matchup. Good decision by FTV, in my opinion. Good to deny more advantages in the 1v1 for Yoshino, but they give up a lot of platings in the bot lane. They will not lose the first turret as they use the Rift Herald for the first turret in the top lane. So pretty decent trade for GAM still. They gave up an objective and will only barely lose the turret race. So in the end, 5 platings still going over to GAM. Accelerating the gold gain is usually in favor of the team that is behind, because going even in gold in objective trades is, if you look at the percentage gold advantage, it's obviously better for the team that's behind, because the percentage will shrink there. So in the end, FTV still had 2k gold, but both teams are now sitting at more than 20k gold, so the advantage is only at 10%, which is still quite massive. But now FTV needs to hold that 10% advantage, so at 30 minutes it needs to be 3k and so on. If FTV can't extend the lead, there's still a big opportunity for GAM to win this game, especially around, as I alluded to just a few minutes ago, around the top lane advantage. And it's a little bit, it's bothering me a little bit that Hugh is still not in the ADC position here. Last game they swapped in the first minute, and now Slay is still sitting there on 3 CS, opposite to Police sitting on 100. I guess we have to deal with it. It's another Moby Boots support Lux, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I think you can actually go either cooldown reduction, or if the game is going really well, which this game is obviously not, but some of the games they could have gone for penetration boots. Penetration Lux support seems a little bit counterintuitive, because she levels up her shield first, and she's very much focused around shielding in teamfights. But her ult does a surprising amount of damage, and especially if you're able to land the Q ult comp, it can actually deal a lot of damage, especially to the backline champions. Something like 500, 600 damage is totally possible at level 11 in mid-game teamfights, so I like the penetration looks a lot. Yoshino against Victory now. Will Yoshino win this 1v1? It doesn't look like it, judging from items. And Yoshino also behind 2 levels compared to Victory, which is a little bit surprising. Where did Victory get all these the levels from? He has 2 kills to his name, and a lot of farm as well, so nicely done by Victory, actually accruing a really big lead in terms of experience there, which is hard to deal with for Yoshino, because he'll never get the first level up again, and as long as he's not level 11, I don't think he can really challenge Victory there in a fight. As I say that, he actually does exactly that. It does not look too great for him. Ooh, flash from... Can we please see the top lane fight? Observers. So this is, it's back and forth in the top lane. Flash now coming in from the, wow, and he actually gets on top of that. And GAM turns around the game completely. Kill in the bottom side as well. They win both sides of the trade and get the second Infernal Drake. So now the game is not even in terms of gold, but almost even in terms of actual strength of the teams. FTV throw away their advantages, and we need to see the top lane fight again. That was way more interesting than anything that happened there in the bot lane. Sadly, it was only very small at the side of the screen. I did not pay attention to what actually happened on the main screen, because I thought the top lane matchup was very interesting there. A lot of back and forth. Both used their flash to at different times. Let's look at this again. So Victory comes in. He has not spotted Yoshino, but he probably knows that Yoshino is there. Yoshino stacks up his passive a little bit. First Q lands on Victory, and now Yoshino engages on him. So what does this look like? Yoshino gets the Conqueror stacks, but look at Victory's accuracy on the Q. Very nicely done. Gets the big advantage. Q, sweet spot number 3 lands. Yoshino avoids the next Q. It's hard for Victory to land the next skill shot there. It looks like it's a big advantage. He actually lands the Q as well. Does not land this Q. This is the important part. And now a flash from Yoshino in the backside coming in. Wow, that was really close. The last auto channeled from both sides, and in the end, Yoshino gets out ahead, not even sitting on at 24s, which is not a good sign for Victory. He was ahead in levels now with the 1-1 kill coming in. Obviously, Yoshino is probably even ahead in experience a little bit. Both now sitting on level 11. Infernal Drake for both sides secured, and 1000 gold lead still for FTV, but it's not. It doesn't really matter too much looking at the items right now. As soon as Yoshino hits 24, there's no one who can stop him in the side lane. It's already very hard to stop him there. A kill secured for Hugh is huge as well, especially looking at the teamfight chances for GAM. And don't underestimate Vel'Koz in teamfights. A lot of people, especially on the official Riot broadcast for a long time, after ADCs, after some people refuse to play ADCs, hold the thought, it's another fight, Rika gets dived on. Yeah, this is just a very clean kill on Rika. Victory is here, ult activated, but this does not look great for Victory. Gets caught out, very nice stun from Hugh, and kill on Victory. GAM has turned around the game completely. Still behind in gold, but ahead in pressure, ahead in confidence. They go for the proactive plays. I like GAM's look a lot in this. Every team can fall behind in the early game. How you play out the rest of the game is what's more important. And GAM looks very good around looking for plays. Yoshino gets caught here, so Yoshino has to be careful. Yep, nicely done. Kill finally secured for the Pyke. B absolutely outplaying Yoshino there. It's a 1-for-1 in the end, and they get the shutdown on Police. Police did not pay attention. He was too hyped for his support. His support outplayed the enemy top laner, and he was cheering for him. And in the meantime, he just got murdered by Levi. Didn't even use his flash. His flash available there. So big mistake for Police. And the gold is finally in favor of GAM again. Oh, for the first time, I should say. So look at this again. Rika wandering there, totally oblivious to what's happening on the map. He's just dead. Nothing he can do. Levi is just sitting there outside of turret. Wow. Kiaya solo killing Rika there. Not a single kill went to Kiaya before that, but he shows a little bit of his prowess in terms of mechanics. Nicely done. A Super Soaker build coming in from Vel'Koz, so he's super strong right now. And they want to set up the kill on Yoshino. This does not look too great. Yoshino actually taking a lot of damage. Will not secure the kill on Kuroko. So in the end, they are successfully diving Yoshino. I think Yoshino could have played this a little bit more conservatively, been a little bit more under his turret. You need to dodge around the Aatrox Qs. If you don't dodge Aatrox Qs, you will go down very quickly, even if you're a fat Aurelia there. So not too much I can fault him for. I think he could have gotten a kill back if he played it a little more towards his turret there. I think he saw the opportunity to burst Kuroko. In the end, his burst was not enough yet. So next time he meets Kuroko, I think it will not be too easy for Kuroko to get out alive. And now transitioning into mid-game, the game is still very even though it looks like GAM is in a really big advantage from the run of play. They have secured the last few really big plays, and now 20 minutes gold is even. So I alluded to 10 minutes I talked about the 10% gold difference in favor of FTV, and needed to at least stay at 10%, so 3k, 2k. Looking at the gold, obviously not the minutes, I'm sorry. So 3.6k should be the lead now for FTV if they stayed at 10%. But yeah, as we can see, it's 200 gold, so not at 10% at all. And now, especially Rika is kind of useless right now. He's sitting there 2-4, has not even completed his Trinity 4, so in a big power trough. Police at least on 2-item power spike for Kai'Sa and the stopwatch, so a lot of tools to impact the next teamfight. But Levi doesn't even look for the teamfight, they just immediately go on top of the dragon. This will be a very easy dragon secure, as Yoshino gets caught up once again. Rika and Victor on top of him. Yoshino tries to go for the play, but this will be another clean kill on Yoshino. He even tried to use his flash there for the outplay. I don't think he needed to use his flash. Very opportunistic. Tried to see the big play. He wanted to go for the highlight plays, but he's not far enough ahead. And now sitting at 3 and 5. Last few minutes have not been too kind to him. I praised him early on, but yeah, Now FTV with a slight advantage again. In terms of gold, the real advantage I think is still with GAM. Their champs are in a very strong spot, especially looking at the wave control and damage, as well as slowing coming out of Hugh. So he is super great in the mid game for his team. And a mere ADC cannot really impact the fight. And maybe Police is as strong as he is in the fight, but the real benefit you get from picking something like the Vel'Koz here is infinite wave control and a lot of slow and just a lot of utility out of your bot laner there. Lux going with the very defensive build as well. Both stopwatches secured for the bot lanes as well, so no big dive and reset opportunity for Victory, especially on the Aatrox, going for the squishy targets in the backline to activate his reset. Just thinking about the team fights, the inevitable team fights around Baron probably, there is a lot both teams have to offer. The objective for FTV is reset. Everything they have built is to get the first kill, then reset through everything. They have Pyke and Aatrox, so they just want, with Rika in a little bit of a bad position in terms of game state overall. What I thought, immediate engage on Kuroko. Kuroko's dead. Good kill, very nicely done by Levi there. They secure a very quick kill on the jungler. Will they turn for Baron? This is dangerous. Baron will bring them closer to execute territory, so using Slay's shield is very crucial to not drop too low to Baron. Rika and B approach. Aatrox is still split pushing in the bot lane, which I don't like. I think he should be there and try to... Yeah, he's now teleporting in. He's far away. This Baron is probably almost dead. No, it's still sitting at 6k. Levi re-engages, and now it is really dangerous for GAM. A lot of low health members. First kill comes in, Victory gets the reset. Another kill going down, and this is pure chaos. Yoshino and Kiaya on top of Victory, but FTV actually loses the fight heavily. They got the reset on Victory, but he was not enough to carry this fight alone. 4-4-1 in the end. They lose their jungler, so no opportunity to go for Baron, especially as Kuroko is alive. Still a 4-4-1, so big advantage for GAM. No, Kuroko, you don't... Oh, no. Oh, wow. Kuroko in a very bad position. This is Lee Syndrome coming in there, and he gets the kill. Does not really matter, especially now they have their jungler available earlier on, so Kuroko can't contest any objectives they want to go for. They're too low to go for Baron, really. So look at this again. They have no vision at all. Kiaya secures... Ooh, Kiaya gets level 15 with the red buff. It's actually pretty important. He's super tanky for Jace. Teleport very late. They engage on Slay, but once again it's Aftershock Lux with the stopwatch, so it's hard to kill it. Rika immediately regrets its choices. First one to fall. Levi gets caught, and Victory gets the reset. Victory is a kind of a very good binding by Slay once again, delaying a lot of the time where Victory had his speed buff, and for some reason Yoshino doesn't get hit by B there. Once again, Slay carrying the fight from the backside with support Lux. Super great Lux performance, even though the last Q does not land. Slowed down by the official broadcast. Even more embarrassing there for Slay, but still super great Lux performance. Baiting in. That was a weird hit. Whatever. Baiting in all the cooldowns. Rika full committed to him, but he had Aftershock and stopwatch, so he survived. And then he stopped Victory in his tracks after he got the reset. So yeah, MVP in that fight for sure was the Lux. Slay with another super great Lux performance. 9 kill participations, almost the most on the team. Only the top laner has more, because everything revolved around top lane in this game. Yoshino now hitting 2 items as well. And it's another Infernal spawn. Double Infernal and two Infernals, 1 Cloud is one of the strongest solo queue setups. If you just look at statistics, it's I think triple Infernal has the highest win rate, and then it's double Infernal and 1 Cloud. So this is the second highest win rate for solo queue in terms of dragons. FTV at least uses the time to reset vision around Baron, which delays the Baron play for GAM. This is a very exciting mid game. A lot is happening. Slay scouts. Wow. Yeah, Slay, you just threw away your MVP I wanted to give to you. That was horrible. What did you do there? He wanted to scout the Baron. They were scared, but why would you scout from exactly that close to the wall where everything can grab you over the wall? Yeah, that was not a great decision by Slay there. In the end, they can't. No, I don't think they can really do Baron here. Kuroko seems to agree with me after checking Baron's damage once again. And now they are in a very bad map spot. They will lose almost all their vision around Baron if GAM actually bothers to clear it. But right now they play around bot side. They want to dive Rika again. Wow. There's actually very little that happened after Slay got caught. So okay, Slay got caught, so right now I might not give it to him in terms of MVP, but if he has another great team fight, I think he's still eligible to get it, even though he got caught, but the consequences were not too bad there. Another opportunity to kill him. Interestingly enough, police does not want to commit, not enough vision for them. They did not feel safe going for Slay there. If they had observer vision, they would have probably all in there to try to kill Slay and get another man advantage. Slay with a super defensive Lux build. I really don't like this Lux build. Well, he has almost no AP, and his shield is scaling heavily on AP, so Lux is really not the champ I think you should build Redemption first on. My preferred choice is almost always Ardent Sensor. I think triggering Ardent Sensor over all 5 members all the time with your shield, low cooldown as well, is super great. Good for team fights, even better for objectives, because even things like Gragas will constantly auto-attack in objective fights. So yeah, I actually think Ardent Sensor is undervalued on the Lux. It's so much better than anything else in terms of synergy with the skill. And don't understand me wrong, the other support items are still good on her, but Ardent Sensor is just super great. Engage on Victory and Kiai. Kiai uses a stopwatch. Ooh, they almost get the... Ooh, wow. Levi with the flash. Kiai is still alive. And Rika tries to go for the kill. Now Kiai finally goes down. Police is out of the fight. Yoshino tries to chase him down. Hugh is still alive, and B and Kuro can't lock down the kill. Finally, Police falls, and Hugh is still alive. Needs to dodge the minion hits. Very successfully does so. Strange position for FTV's members there, behind enemy lines, and GAM uses the already prepped minion waves now to push in the inhibitor. Hugh backs off though, no TP available, so they now group around mid lane turret. Not too sure about Hugh backing off. Could have stayed in the fight. There was not a whole lot of pressure on him with B's ult already down. Another kill on Kuroko, maybe? Yes, they finally lock it down. Took a little bit of time. Wow, the very conservative approach. But now a TP comes in from Victory. He doesn't have. He has his ult available actually. Immediate turn on Victory, and he goes down once again. This is such an unfortunate game for FTV. So many aggressive calls, and all of them a little bit scattered. They get caught one by one. And GAM shows that they are the much better coordinated team. Look at these Lux shields. This is one of their biggest strengths. Taking Baron with Lux is so easy. She is almost as good as Sona Tarek is at topping everyone off in the Baron fight. They don't take any damage here. Still a 10th from B. He hits a champion and gets his aftershock triggered, so no opportunity there. Still only at a 3k gold lead, so even though it looks like GAM is in a big advantage, especially in terms of coordination there, the actual gold lead is not as high. And we see AP Kaiser coming in for Police. Choice I'm a little bit confused by. I think, okay, looking at his team composition, it's only AD champs, so they might have actually planned the AP Kaiser from the beginning. I've not seen an AP Kaiser in a long time. It's okay still. Crit Kaiser does so much more single target damage, but yeah, I mean, maybe. It's not the worst choice in this game especially. No MR at all built on enemy champs, and why would it be? There's only 80 champs on the other side. So fair enough, good adaptation of build. I don't think it will save them here. Police has not looked like he's able to do anything to the divers on the enemy team. Baron is running, and they will secure the first inhibitor of the game at 31 minutes. Took a long while for GAM. And now they're looking like the clear favorites to lock down this game and finish with a 2-0 over FTV. Next inhibitor will be approached here. FTV could look for a fight here. There's still no inhibitor minion wave coming in, so yeah, GAM actually looks for the fight and don't like that call. But Yoshino just dances around and forces off. A lot of respect from FTV comes in, and wow, GAM immediately go for the finish, and FTV really need to find an engage. Rika goes for the engage on Levi. Levi a little bit low. Wow, Kiaya one-shots the enemy Aatrox, and now this game looks absolutely over. Rika goes down, Police is super low, gets killed there as well. Oof, that ended way more quickly than I anticipated it would. And GAM uses the first Baron to immediately lock down the game victory 2-0 over FTV, just as expected. The second game though, early game looked very rough. GAM was absolutely routed in the early game there. I think most of the VCS teams would probably come away with a victory against GAM after that early game start. Maybe not Cerberus, maybe definitely not FTV as we just saw, but almost all the other teams. So GAM needs to clear up their early game a little bit. That looked rough there, and especially the mid lane and the one big bot lane dive where everyone died. So made it way harder for them. It should have been. Levi is still laughing all the time. He has a great time here in Vietnam, back in his home region, and finally on the scoreboard as well. 4-0 week for GAM. Yoshino is very happy with this game as well. Yeah, 4-0 for GAM. They are now sitting at 2-2 in terms of series score. I talked about a lot before the season started that I wanted to see 2 serious victories out of GAM before Zeros comes in, and then they have a real chance of contesting for playoffs. And right now I'm not even sure if Zeros is needed. GAM looks like a pretty good team. Yoshino is a good top laner. Kiaya is a little bit of a question mark in the mid lane because his champion pool seems to be a little bit all over the place, or it's not really all over the place, it's only at one place, and that's top lane. He's only playing top lane champions in the mid lane, which yeah, he needs to work on. Maybe they plan on actually starting Zero's Hue as their setup, and then use Yoshino and Kiaya to rotate around the map. Maybe they don't have the clear ADC position. Looks like everyone plays ADC there. Sometimes it's Hugh, sometimes it's Minus, sometimes it's even Levi, but we want to forget about that game. That never happened. And I'm not too sure whom I want to give the MVP to. It looked a lot like Slay for most of the game. I think that he got caught in the last team fight. He didn't do too much. Hugh on the Vel'Koz was great. I think he's a real candidate for me. Yoshino had a few too many int moments for me. Levi is actually a good candidate as well. I think for me it's probably between Levi and the Vel'Koz, Hugh there. That's a really hard call. I need the stats again for this game. I feel like Levi had more plays, more impactful Gregor's ults, stuff like that. He also had a few mistakes, especially in the early game, and Hugh didn't really make any mistakes. It's a little bit of the... It's really hard to decide for me. Chad, what should I go for in terms of MVP? What do you think is the right choice in the second game? Maybe you can assist me here, because it's hard to decide for me. maybe I want to give it to Levi. I think his casks have been were great in this game. Honorable mention to Hugh. Only one of the two can get MVP, which is a bit unfortunate. But yeah, I think I'll lock it down for Levi. Gragas this game, with especially his team fights were nicely done. Honorable mentions to Slay and Hugh on the Vel'Koz and Lux bot lane. But Levi with a lot of good ults there, knocking off strong members, sometimes even finishing them off with the ult. Overall, a good performance from GAM. There's definitely room to grow, especially in terms of decision making in the early game. Maybe don't commit everything down there if you're not sure that you come out on top. And Yoshino, please don't stay under turret forever if 4 members are around. Try to get out of there. They looked like the clear better team today, even from behind. I think their mechanics are very much a tier above FTV. There's nothing FTV's players really can do to deal with GAM's players. GAM's players just overall are the better players all around. So expected result, second game not quite the expected play we saw, but in the end GAM comes away from this week very happy. They have a lot to improve upon, but they are already sitting right in the middle of the league at 2-2, joining EVOS now for the 2-2 score. 50% win rate as well, 4-4 in terms of games. Have only played very fast series so far, only 2 0s or 0-2s. And will now have 1.5 weeks when Rift Trials is happening to improve even further and try to integrate more players into their... Oh, Slay actually gets the MVP for the official broadcast. Oh, his stats were great in this game. 1-2-15. Yeah, Slay had a super great Lux game. Maybe I want to go to Slay as well. I always like to see the MVP going to the Lux, to the support. I think this is the first official support MVP we actually saw. Look at this. GAM right behind EVOS at 0, 4-4 as I said. EVOS is +1 because they took a game off DBL in their loss. Yeah, let's actually give it to Slay. Even though he got caught out there, Slay with super good team fighting on the Lux did only die 2 times and delayed the Aatrox in the most crucial fight of the game for 2 seconds straight after he got the reset. So I agree, Slay had a super good game. First support MVP of the official broadcast, well deserved. 4 Lux games in a row. Maybe some teams will ban it away in the next week of play. So now GAM can be very happy and have a free Sunday tomorrow. Meanwhile, we get to see 2 more series of the VCS tomorrow. Game 2 will close out with the banger. The 2 undefeated teams in terms of series. It's Loki and DBL playing against each other in the last game. Tomorrow it's at 2 p.m. CEST and as you can see 7 p.m. Vietnamese time. Before that we have 2 of the lower tier teams playing against each other. It's Cerberus meeting QTV for the first series of the day. That best of 3 will be QTV favored, but we saw QTV getting stomped yesterday, so maybe not quite as favored as I would like to see it be, because Cerberus looks absolutely horrible, and we would like to see QTV as a mid-tier team. QTV can get to 2-2 in terms of series if they win against Cerberus here, and Cerberus has to turn it around. They still look like the worst team, even worse than FTV, and I think the 2 worst teams in the league right now look a very clear league below all the other teams. All the other teams seems to be at least somehow little competitive against the top teams, but those 2 teams, Cerberus and FTV, don't, and we have to see if that trend continues tomorrow when Cerberus meets QTV. Week 2. Day 3 is finished now, and yeah, thank you all for watching, even though it was a single caster cast right now. Tomorrow I'll be joined by Everyday again. He had to leave a bit earlier on today. Sorry for that again. And we'll be back tomorrow bringing you the series of the week, DBL against Loki, as well as QTV against Cerberus, if everything works out with Everyday's work. Have a great day and see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.